When I think back about the overturn of Roe versus Wade and how they're trying to make you have children now or force you to have children, whether whether you've been raped or not, or whether you've uh, conceived a child through a family member or anything like that now, you can't just get up and say, oh, I'm getting ready to go and have an abortion. That's not possible anymore. It's not possible in a lot of states. And this kind of upsets me because I have a granddaughter that's growing up now, and if something should happen to her, it would be sad that she won't be able to have an abortion, as far as if she was ever raped or molested in any kind of way and became pregnant through that, or even if she got pregnant and was, having difficulties with the pregnancy. I hear now too that's also a big deal, because you can be having problems with your pregnancy and they won't even help you abort that child unless you're actually on death's bed. And I've heard of really bad stories where people have died because of that. They gotten pregnant and they were having complications and just couldn't really get the abortion that they needed, and lives have been lost because of this. And one of the reasons that this upsets me so much is I've had some rape, well, not rape, I'm going to use the word grape, because on social media now you have to say grape. I've had some grape incidents. I've had about 3 incidents that I can remember where I came so close to being graped, as they would call it. My first incident on being graped was, I lived in Brooklyn and I used to go to a high school, Bushwick High. I think it was on Irving Street or something like that. But you had the high school, but then you had like brownstone buildings, like going down the street after that. And I would walk that street every day because I live close to the school. So I would have to walk from home to school and from school back home. I didn't get transported in by any bus, or no one took me to school. I had to walk. Rain, snow, sleet, or hail, I had to walk to school. I remember having a friend, and her mother had died when she was very young, so she was living with an auntie. And the auntie was taking care of her, but of course the auntie wasn't taking the best care of her. So she was lacking a couple of things. Things that normal kids would have. She couldn't have it because apparently the auntie had other children of her own that she had to take care of. So my friend that I had in school was not getting the best care because auntie couldn't afford it, or auntie just didn't want to do it, or whatever the reasons were. I don't remember at the time. But I remember this girl being my friend, and she started having sex at an early age, and she started talking to guys and actually being intimate. And she had a boyfriend, and the boyfriend lived down the street from the school. He lived on the same street. All you had to do was leave school, go down the street, and his building was right there. And he'd be outside all the time, sitting on the patio, on the steps. And sometimes me and her would pass, and we would walk home from school together a lot of times. And when we got to his place, she would say, well, I'm stopping right here. You could go ahead, D, da da da. So I would leave her and I would go ahead and go home. This one particular day, she didn't show up in school. She wasn't in school. And her boyfriend was on the patio. He was on the patio when I was passing. So he called me and he said to me if I could come for a minute. He wanted to talk to me. I said, sure. So he also wanted to know if I could come down into the basement apartment because that's where he lived. His mother owned the building and she kind of lived upstairs. He was a little bit older than my friend. He was already out of high school, had a job working. We were like, I think we were in the 10th grade, somewhere around there we were. But he was already out of high school and he was seeing her. Didn't think nothing of it at that time when we were young. We didn't think that, oh, he was actually messing with a minor. I don't know what we were thinking, but just didn't dawn on us. I guess we didn't know the law, and we didn't know that he wasn't supposed to be messing with her. Who knows? But him and her was together. So moving forward, he invited me into his basement apartment that day. He said he wanted to talk to me about her. I didn't know what was going on with him and her. I knew they had been together. I knew they were together, blah, blah, blah. But me being her friend, I guess it was cool that he wanted to talk to me about her. So I went into his little basement apartment and he told me to sit down on the bed. So I'm sitting on the bed and he's got a chair and like a desk and he's talking to me and he's telling me some stuff about her. But while I'm listening to him, I noticed around the room he had like a beer bottle, but the beer bottle was broken. And not only was the beer bottle broken, but he had the half of the bottle, the broken glass bottle, sitting on top of a dresser. And I thought that was very odd that he had this beer bottle, this broken beer bottle, sitting on top of the dresser. I'm like, why would he have that there? But still wasn't thinking, was there just talking to him, answering his questions. Then all of a sudden, he walked over to me and pushed me down on the bed and started to try to get on top of me. And I couldn't understand, and I started screaming like, why are you doing this? Because at this point now I realized that it was just more than just a conversation. He was going to try to rape me. And he got up off of me at one point, went over to the dresser, reached for this broken bottle, threw me back down on the bed, and threatened that he was going to slash my throat with this bottle. I'm laying on this bed with this man on top of me with a broken bottle to my throat, and he's threatening me to take my clothes off because he's getting ready to grape me. And I'm begging for my dear life. I'm like, oh my God, why are you doing this to me? Me and your girlfriend are friends. You shouldn't be doing this. Yada, yada, yada. And even though he's tussling with me and he's got the one bottle in his hand and me and him are tussling, he's got his other hand to my throat. I'm begging him. I'm asking him, please don't do this. Please don't do this. Your girlfriend and I are friends. What would she think? All of this. I don't know what happened during all this conversation and this tussling and fighting back and forth with me and him, but I was determined that I wasn't going to get graped that day. That just was not my day to get graped. I don't know what came over him, but all of a sudden, he decided he had a change in heart, and he stopped. He never pushed it anymore. And when I tell you, I got myself together and ran up out of there as quick as I could. I never seen him again after that. Never again after that had I seen him. I never reported him to anybody because I didn't know who to go report him to. I didn't know what to say. I don't know. And I want to tell you that I hadn't seen my friend after that either. I was very young. And I hadn't seen my friend after that either. So I don't know if he had killed her, what happened. I don't know. I was very young. Never seen him after, never seen her after. Because he never came back out on that patio or that porch or the steps, because it was steps. I just never seen either one of them after that. For some odd reason, I think he was still living there. He just never came back out. Because the shame, he couldn't look me in my eyes. Well, that's one rape incident. I've got like 2 more incidents where I was raped or graped, as the word that they want to say, or tried to be graped. But I just feel sorry now for all the younger people that may go through something like this. My experience, my first experience wasn't as bad. It was scary, but it wasn't as bad as I've heard that things could go with people who are in that situation. So, me looking back at something like that, and as young as I was, would I have wanted to keep that child? No. I didn't even know what it was like being intimate with anybody. I hadn't started being intimate yet. And he would have stolen that from me. He would have taken that feeling away from me. You understand? Because everybody wants to know that they shared that experience with someone that they like or love, their first experience. So someone just coming along randomly that you really don't know, that you really don't even have any feelings for, and snatching that away from you, I can imagine how horrible that is. So this new law that they got now, where it's kind of hard for you to have an abortion, it's just wild. And I do feel sorry for all the younger folks that are coming into this world now, that are going to be faced with this type of dilemma. But like, follow, share, tell me what you think. I'm going to do a part 2 and 3 for my other situation that I had. Follow my channel, subscribe, and do make a comment. Tell me what you think about my incident.